Hey, it's IdkWhatsRc, and this is another progress video about Raining Chain, so an MMORPG I'm currently making. So I know it's been a very long time since my last video, and no, it's not because I've stopped working on the project. It's more because what I've been doing over the last month or even 2 months is just revamping stuff. So my old system was kind of messy, so I tried to make it more optimized. So I changed a lot of things. Pretty much the entire code was revised and optimized, but there's nothing really I could show you guys, so that's why I waited so long before making a new video. But now I've added a couple new features, so I can show you the new features. So probably the biggest change for the player is the interface. So it was totally written from scratch. I totally changed the approach. So back then I was drawing the interface like a painting, and I've changed that with a HTML5 approach. So now I'm using HTML elements and I place them wherever I want, and it's a lot more flexible and it's a lot clearer code-wise. It kind of feels the same. I mean, all the functionalities are pretty much the same, but the way it's written is very, very different. I'll just resize that. Like for example, back then when you clicked on the bank, it would be a box drawn, and now it's a window that pops. Right now, I must say it does not look very nice. I haven't really worked on the aesthetic part, so everything is just gray and white. But obviously you can do something. I could do something like RuneScape. If you check in your RuneScape windows, just like that. I could make something like this. For example, this is exactly the same thing than HTML5 div. So exactly the same technique I use, but I don't have the fancy looking stuff. So that's one, well, that's the way it was supposed to be made in the first place, because it's a lot better than drawing stuff. So that's one thing. I've kind of changed the tab. So before it was kind of like in RuneScape, so you click on the different stuff and the different menu opens up, but now there's only one tab. It's the inventory. It's always there. And one big change I've made compared to RuneScape is that there's no longer a limit for your inventory, so I could have more than 8 items. Let's just add new equip, and it just scroll infinitely. So before I wanted, like at the very beginning, the game was really like RuneScape, and the more it progress or develops, the more away I'm getting from RuneScape. So in RuneScape, a fixed inventory space, it kind of makes sense, like for a lot of skill, and the game would really be different. But in Raining Chain, having a limited inventory was just pointless. I mean, there's a lot less emphasis on the item in my game compared to RuneScape. So in RuneScape, there are quests where you use this item on this place and stuff like that. But in Raining Chain, it's a lot more focused on combat. So that's why I made this change. So I guess I could show you the new interface really quickly. So first, I got the new ability window. So the code for generating this is probably 1/10 of what it was before, and it's a lot clearer. So yeah. So you can select the different abilities. They tell you what they do exactly, and useful stuff like that. I also have the combat stats. So a big difference now is that with HTML5 I can use tooltips. So when you move your mouse over a text, it tells you something, which was not possible before. So you know, for example, that draining is replenish mana when hitting an enemy and stuff like that. So kind of handy. Then there's the quest list, kind of standard, and then you click and there's the quest window, which looks kind of like the old one. There's also the iScore, kind of standard. You just select what you want and you get the information. I'm the only player on this server, so I don't have that much to show. And one big difference between my old system and the new system is that I can have 2 windows open at the same time, which was not possible when drawing. This is quite a big deal. Once again, the windows will look nice when I will actually release the game. Reputation grid looks like that. And this is once again 1/10 of the code I had before. And it's like 100% more optimized. This is the iScore. And that's pretty much it for the interface. Okay, so now I want to talk about a big design choice I've made. couple weeks ago. I know that many people will be disappointed, but I think it was needed. So I removed the skilling system in the Raining Chain. So I know that, yeah, many people are like, what the fuck? This is the worst decision ever. And I must admit, it was a very hard decision to make. So when I started this project, it was supposed to be really similar to RuneScape, and for me, RuneScape without skill is not RuneScape. There's no point in playing RuneScape without skill, at least for me. So it was a no-brainer to make a game with skilling, kind of like in RuneScape. But I realized that skilling in RuneScape was like, the reason why I like skilling in RuneScape is not because they are called skills and they have level and stuff. What I like about skilling in RuneScape is the grinding part and knowing that you're progressing and knowing that like with the ice core. And the big thing about RuneScape compared to other games is that you have multiple skills to choose and each of them are different. So if you want to go for a high rank in something, you can go for it. You can really focus yourself on one thing and be the best at it. So you cannot be the best at everything, but you choose one thing and you become good in that. So I was thinking a lot and I realized that I didn't need to add skill that way, like skill like woodcutting or stuff like that, because I already have a system that pretty much fills the same needs than the skilling system in RuneScape, and it's with the what's called the quest system. So every single quest in Raining Chain is kind of like a skill in RuneScape, because every time you complete a quest, it improves the score. There's an I score for this. So you could see, like, I don't even know if the name of the quest is displayed. There's still a lot of improvement to do with the interface. But let's say that this is Lure and Kill. So you could see the quest Lure and Kill as a skill, and every time you complete it, you get experience in that skills, and there's I score for it. So this is the cumulative quest score. So, and each quest are really different. Like, I don't know if you remember, but I got a Minesweeper game in Raining Chain. So there's kind of like Minesweeper is a skill in Raining Chain, and you get, every time you do Minesweeper, you get experience, and it improves your rank for that skill. But instead of being called skill, it's called a quest. That's pretty much the only difference. And yeah, it was a very hard decision to make. I hope you guys understand why I make it, because to be honest, the game was not designed to have a skilling system. I was checking the code and I was like, why the fuck do I have a skilling system? It just does not fit with the game at all. So I removed it. I still have collecting resources though, and it's still a very important part, but you still get experience, but I will explain the new system very soon. So yeah, like I said, there is still a reason to harvest resources, and it's still a big part of the game. So for example, wood cutting trees to get logs and getting experience at the same time. So you still get experience by collecting stuff. So there's trees, there's hunter. We'll just go and hunt a squirrel. It's kind of funny. Nothing too exciting. You just click and get bones. And there is also rocks, if I remember correctly. I'm still working on the map transition, by the way. And if you complete the quest, then the resource, you can harvest the resources once again. So yeah, there's still the collecting stuff, getting experience and stuff, but there's no skills. That's pretty much the only difference. You just get general experience, and with the experience, what you do is that you improve your weapons. So let's say that I got this weapon right there, a spear. I'm still working on the interface. White on white is not smart. But let's say I got this, and in Raining Chain it's kind of like Path of Exile or Diablo. Every piece of equipment is unique. So for example, this spear has a 50 or 45% attack speed bonus, and this is unique to this spear. If I make another spear, it will be different. And one thing is that it has hidden bonuses, and to unlock the bonuses you need to have materials. For example, 15 bronze medals. So you will need to harvest from 15 rocks. You can also complete quests, kill monster to get experience and resources and stuff like that. And if you're the admin, you can just add with this command. So for example, I upgrade this weapon, and now it has a strike range bonus of 4%. So I can reach monster 4% farther than me. And if I was lucky, I could have gotten a weapon with more hidden bonus. So sometimes it's 1 hidden bonus, sometimes it's 5 hidden bonus. It's random. Obviously more is more unlikely. And with the mastery points, those are the experience you get from collecting stuff, monster, harvesting resources, creating equips, and also completing quests. You can spend them to improve the weapon. So for example, it has, well, the formula is kind of bad, but I could spend, for example, all my experience in this spear, and in theory it will improve the, well, it does improve the damage, but anyway, it improves the damage, that's the point. And you can spend as many points as you want in a weapon. It has diminishing returns, so it's not linear. So spending 10 times more points will only give you 10% more damage bonus. Otherwise it would be easily exploitable. And that's the new system for collecting resources and using them. Now a very big change I've made is the way the server sends information to the client. So before, everything was pretty much handled on the client part, on the server part I meant. So every time the client needed to do something, it needed to contact the server, hey, what do I do? And then the server said to the client, hey, do that. But now I changed it a little bit, so the client has its own little database of things. So for example, it knows those items, so they know the name, they know the option they have. They don't know what they do, but it has enough information to be able to display this pop-up. So before, every time I wanted to display this, the server had to send this list of names every single time. So now it only sends it one time. Another big change, probably the biggest, is that I only send information once every 2 frames now, and I've made client prediction on the client part, so it feels like the same. And it's a very big deal because I can pretty much handle 2 times more players, because easily, I would say 50% or at least 25% of the time spent on the server, like performance-wise, was spent encoding what to send to the client. And now that I've diminished that by nearly 2 times, it's a big deal, seriously. But like I said, it's not visible, it's kind of pointless. I can tell you that, but you cannot really see it or feel it. Well, you can feel it a little bit, but it's not. Anyway, so I guess that's pretty much it about this video. I hope you liked it, and just a quick heads up about what I'm going to do next is that since I've done revamping the code, I'm going to start working on my IDE. So I mentioned in my last video a couple months ago that I was working on IDE, pretty much the same thing than RPG Maker, but with my engine. So it's a very big project written in C#, and I will be doing that for a couple next weeks. So thanks again for watching, and see ya!